The year is 451 AD. The place is Chalons in the Champagne district of France. The Roman general Aetius has gathered an army to confront Attila the Hun, whose barbarian tribes are rampaging across Europe. Today, the fate of one of these armies rests with a team of instructors from the Bristol Army Cadet Force, made up of 2 generals.
We need to be hitting them here.
And 2 lieutenants.
They've stopped.
Watched by experts and using state-of-the-art technology, the team will refight this battle and attempt to change the course of history. This is Time Commanders. With Eddie Mayer inside a 21st century military command centre and taking control of the battlefield are a team of instructors from the Bristol Army Cadet Force. Jackie Harper, rank General. Chris Starbuck, rank General. Gary Forder, rank Lieutenant. Pat McSherry, rank Lieutenant.
Tell me about what you do.
We all work for Western RFCA, which is a Reserve Forces and Cadet Association. We look after the cadets in the Bristol area.
And have you appointed yourself General, Chris?
I think so, to a certain degree, with the backing of the rest of the team.
Democratic decision.
Yeah.
Pat,
yeah.
You're fond of running?
I am, yeah.
And
yeah.
golf?
I am. Yeah.
Good at both?
Running not too bad, golf absolutely terrible.
Gary, you're very good at running. You've run a lot of marathons and you're soon to run the Great Wall of China and the Sahara Marathon.
That's the plan. That's the lie about being good at it. I'll just run and just put my head down and enjoy myself.
As if that wasn't sporty enough, Jackie, you have ridden rodeo before.
Yes, yeah. I got the opportunity to work on a dude ranch as the first female wrangler.
Chris, though, your CV reads like classic Army. Ex-Army officer?
Yeah.
Doesn't get more British than that. You hold many national records for running in Hong Kong. You all run. Do you run?
Yes, yeah. I do.
Oh, right, okay.
Still do, yeah, every day.
You might want to before we're finished. And you were a backing dancer for Nina of 99 Red Balloons on Top of the Pops in the 1980s.
It's probably more like I was in the background when Nina was there.
Were you dancing?
My stuff. I was dancing there, yeah.
Do you want to show us what you did?
Not quite, not really. You know.
Well,
I was.
Hold on.
19
Red Balloons. Yeah.
That's the one.
And a bit more than that as well.
The Army, be the best.
So we don't mess about.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Let's find out a little more about the battle you are going to fight. Arik and Sol, historical experts, have been authenticating the battle.
Dr. Arik Nussbacher, Senior Lecturer in War Studies, Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. Dr. Saul David, Military Historian and Author.
What do we have in store?
Well, it's the Battle of Châlons, fought in 451 on the plains of Champagne between the armies of the ailing Roman Empire, at least the western portion of it, and the mounted hordes of Attila the Hun, better known as the Scourge of God. And you, fortunately, are going to be playing the Huns.
To the Romans, you are the frightening race enemy. They view you as being subhuman, and that scares them.
And why does this battle matter? What's the significance of it?
Attila is trying to weld together a coalition of odd Goths and other people who are wandering around Europe at this time, and trying to set up almost in competition with the Western Roman Empire, which just at this point is falling to pieces. So you guys are trying to take advantage of the fall of the Roman Empire.
The team's first task is to examine the terrain to find out what, if any, advantage it might provide.
Now, what do you see there?
We've got the high ground here.
Oh, I can tell you're military. No one's ever done that before.
Oh, that's a pen, yeah. So we've got a good bit of high ground here, and you know, that could be quite useful.
One of the keys to this battle is the high ground. The team probably need to get there before the Romans do. Not necessarily to hold it, because their best chance of winning this battle is by manoeuvring, but at least to stop the Romans from getting there, because if the Romans take it, they are always going to pose a threat to the flank of the Huns.
With this flat area as well, Chris, Romans, they like flat ground, don't they? Because of their formations, etc. And we got a lot of high ground there.
Jackie, Pat? Any thoughts?
No, I think quite good organisation. We've got the high ground there. If we can take use of the high ground, it would be useful to us.
The Huns have got to deny that bit of vital ground to the Romans. They don't have to hold it. They're a cavalry-heavy army. The Huns can't really hold it.
No.
It's now the job of the lieutenants, Pat and Gary, to find out about the strength of Attila's Hunnic army and which units they themselves will be commanding. No one represents the unbridled fury and savagery of barbarism as much as Attila the Hun. His army has cut a swathe across Europe and has now turned its attention to the ailing Western Roman Empire.
Attila, of course, since this period has had a pretty bad press, and one of the reasons has been that most of the people writing about him were Romans. On the other hand, he was a nasty bit of work. He did lay waste vast areas of Europe. It was said of him, of course, that he was a dwarf. Not quite true, but apparently he did have a dwarf called Zirco that he actually tried to offer to the Roman generals, so it said. He wasn't accepted, I suspect.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 5 infantry battalions there.
Yeah.
In Attila's Hunnic alliance, there are large units of Germanic infantry, effective in supporting his cavalry and disrupting advancing enemy lines. Pat will be commanding these troops.
The 2 at the front, I believe, is the heavy cavalry.
Pat will also command Attila's heavy cavalry, which was provided by his Gepid allies. These are excellent at the charge and in close quarter combat.
We've also got 1 unit of Germanic archers.
The final units under Pat's command are the Huns' Germanic archers. They carry axes as well as bows into battle and are aggressive soldiers best used in attack, as their lack of armour makes them vulnerable in defensive situations. At the charge, their brutality in battle is legendary.
The general, which I believe is Attila the Hun, he's right at the front.
So Attila the Hun...
He's right at the front.
He's leading the front,
He's at the front, yeah.
Okay, so Attila's in there.
Yeah.
Fine.
In his day, Attila was known to the Romans as the Scourge of God, and the devastation he caused in Gaul before the Battle of Chalons became a part of medieval folklore. So how will the team match up to his reputation?
Gary?
Right, Chris, on the left-hand side, I've got approximately 10 units of all-horse archers.
Yep.
Gary will be in charge of the troops that made Attila's army so feared, the mounted archers. Devastating with rapid arrow fire and short, sharp charges, their great strength is their mobility. Their only weakness is prolonged close-quarter combat, for which they only carry thrusting swords. They're joined by a troop of Hunnic nobles in the distinctive blue uniform of the steppes. Together, this Hunnic army has already laid waste to half of Europe.
And what do you think of what you found, the 4 of you? What do you think of your own forces?
Well, I think...
Small in numbers.
It's a very small in numbers. It's divided up between, it seems that horsemen, with our infantry and bows with some heavier cavalry, but small in numbers.
All right. Okay.
Small but effective.
Small and effective, yeah.
Completely outnumbered.
Bizarrely, without having seen the enemy troop strength, the team have convinced themselves that they are outnumbered. In fact, the armies are fairly evenly matched. Attila the Hun will be horrified at the team's defensive mentality so early on. Their next job is to discover more about the Roman army they'll face across the battlefield.
This is a point where you might want to send out some scouts.
Definitely, yeah.
You might want to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Using my little scout group, which I've got, I can get myself scouted in there.
For the next stage of information gathering, Gary sends his scouts forward to find out about enemy troop strength.
Trying to avoid any form of contact.
The Roman general Aetius is one of the most respected generals of the Western Roman Empire.
The thing about the Roman commander Aetius is that actually he's got knowledge of the Huns, because as a boy he was held hostage by the Huns. He understands their ways, and this might give him a crucial advantage to understanding how the enemy are going to fight.
As the Romans no longer have the numbers of soldiers that had conquered Gaul many years earlier, General Aetius has persuaded several warrior tribes to contribute to his army. With him on the left of his line of deployment is the mainstay of his army, the Roman heavy cavalry, key in defending the infantry flanks. Aetius also has several units of heavily armed infantry, a formidable force in hand-to-hand combat. In the centre are the Alan tribe, who have brought units of mounted archers. The Alans bear a close physical resemblance to their Hun enemy, but ride into battle with distinctive red saddlecloths. On Aetius's right is the Visigoth king, Theodoric, who has brought large numbers of his fearsome cavalry and infantry units with their typical red and white shields.